Okay, and we are live,
Yeah, and we
and I'm just checking
yeah,
if I can see us on the channel. Perfect. So we are live, and welcome to the Krisullis podcast, the November edition. I'm very excited about today's edition. Before we open up this conversation, I just want to send a message out to everyone watching or feeling into whatever is happening globally at the moment, because I don't think that we can choose to ignore all of the suffering that humanity in several parts of the
in
world is
several
going
parts
through
of
at
the
the
world.
moment. And on behalf of the podcast, and Ibiso and myself, we send all of our prayers, and all of the work that we do stands for that are being destroyed right now. And without really going down that rabbit hole, I just want to place this message before we enter into the discussion for this live conversation. And I want to welcome my soul sister, someone I've known for a couple of years now, Ibiso. I am so thankful for this strengthening of the relationship that I have felt with you. And there's so many reasons why the both of us are on this conversation. But before we get into that, um, please also say hi to all of our viewers and any message that you might have before we go deeper.
Okay, thank you, Caroline, for this wonderful opportunity, to connect with like minds across the globe. It's beautiful to be in this partnership with you. Of course, you're a wonderful person, and I see the effort you put into making sure we train people to getting the right knowledge to become sustainability leaders. And so I want to welcome everyone to this live conversation. I hope it is worth your time. I know it's going to be worth your time, and for a lot of persons joining us, there's so much to take out of this conversation for the cause we want to, what which we've created for young champions in the climate change and sustainability space. So thank you all once again for being on this live conversation with us.
Thank you so much, just for your warmth, and just your genuineness that I always feel. Ibiso, so before we get started, I would love for you to let all of our viewers know more about yourself, and more about uh, GGSDN. And what is GGSDN all about? Because this is important for this what we are doing and why it's important. So please go ahead.
Okay, thank you once again, Caroline. So, my name is Bisoy Kumowie, and I'm the Executive Director of Grassroots to Global Sustainable Development Network. And as an NGO, we carry out or we implement projects around the SDGs. Currently, we just implemented a project on SDG 7, which aims to tackle energy poverty in marginalized rural communities in Nigeria. So we just gave out solar lamps to some students of a particular coastal community um, which have been without light since their inception, which is over a decade. For some, it's been over 5 years. And so we are also into education, and equipping the next generation of young people to, with the right knowledge, the right tools, with the right resources to enable them stand out among their peers, to enable them become more environmentally conscious of what is happening around them, the climate change incidents happening. And of course, we also implement projects around around ocean sustainability. So we implement a couple of projects around the SDGs, and We are open to young people coming into our space to learn, network, and build and grow together.
Thank you. Thank you for this. I know that there's so much more that you're doing, and this is just a very, it feels like a very brief overview of the work that you do and how you inspire me as well. I've watched you over the last few years, and you're very hardworking and very genuine, and your your level of maturity is something that uh, drew me closer to you over the last few years, because I really believe, and something this is something that I talk about with many people in conversation uh, when we want to take something forward, is that the value of trust begins from a space of the wanting to do build something from a space of maturity. And this is something that I always see with you. You always show up with courage, no matter if there's a block or a hindrance. You'll find your way around it. And these are things that I have made mental notes on, because I believe that these are the kind of characteristics that inspire action, inspire more people to say, regardless of limited resources, how can we show up? How can we make this happen? And just being open to the next steps. And these are some of the things that I have always evidenced with you, which is really the starting point of our partnership between the Chrysalis and GGSDN. And it started with this personal relationship, and then going into this together makes me very excited to be doing this with you. A bit about the Chrysalis and how, to our viewers, how we are starting to strengthen this even further as we unpack today's conversation. So, the Chrysalis, we started with financial literacy on the blockchain since late 2020, and that's how Ibiso and I met, through the networks, through the communities, and we sort of working with our communities in Nigeria. I was really genuinely very moved with the level of awareness, with the level of commitment and dedication that I had seen our youth invest and involved in these initiatives in order to move the needle with respect to the SDG goals and sustainability. And I realized, if we are going to, within the Chrysalis, support the youth and support the work, we might as well opt out of, the blockchain as an anchor and go deeper into sustainability. And as I started to do that, I realized that a lot of it were things that we were already doing, but within the frame of the SDGs, it gives us a more formulated, a more structured way of designing, developing, collaborating, identifying goals, and being able to implement so many things that are in alignment with universal goals. And if I were to be honest, for myself, I realized that coming from an education background, I started to ask, these more existential questions for the Chrysalis, of how we could support many of the existing initiatives, many of the existing organizations within sustainability, within the framework of sustainability. And that's when I realized education is that point and that anchor for us. And so here we are, embarking on this journey. It may not be a new journey, but we have recognized and realized that, and if you, as you're watching in, if you look at some of the data and research that the UN talks about with respect to the direction that the green economy is going to take, businesses are going to continue, it already is, but it's going to continue to grow into realizing that the impact of green jobs is not just necessary but critical to be integrated into businesses, regardless of what industry or regardless of what sector businesses are in. And this is very nascent at the moment. As we talk about this is very, very nascent. But if you go on Google and check, any country as such is looking out for sustainability managers, people who can assess around water solutions, waste management, becoming carbon neutral. And these are some of the top ones that companies are already asking for. And as you go further, you realize that we don't have enough talent. We don't have enough people to fill these jobs in companies at the moment. So here we are in this collaboration, in this partnership, in order to fulfill that demand that's going to grow towards a prospect of 24 million jobs globally. And that is huge. So, how might we be able to help build that pipeline, this talent pipeline, in a way that says that we understand where the planet is, we understand about climate crisis, and we want to ensure that the work that we're doing meets those needs while helping companies integrate sustainability, as well as to help build career pathways for whether it is youth who are starting out their careers to people transitioning, because we have to also make a note of all of the people who are currently losing jobs because of technology advancement, and the way technology is also leading to redundancy and obsolete roles in companies. So where are all these people going to go? So if we can anchor in and say that we recognize the growing need for sustainability in businesses, and we recognize that markets are going to need shaping, they're going to need guidance, they're going to need the support system and the structures and the safe environments to say, here we are. It's not just a formalized academy, but we really want to guide and shape direction in a way that nurtures people to say, you're not alone. We these are the some of the signs, the telltale signs of the demand over the next 5 to 6 years, and these are the ways that we can provide the pathway for you forward, regardless of whether you've lost your job because a role has become redundant or you're starting out. And so, this is really the context of what we're talking about in today's conversation and our partnership. Ibiso runs her own organization. She's the executive director. She might be very modest about her own role and the work that she's doing, but she's doing a lot for local communities. And this is really what speaks to the Krisullis philosophy as well. Really being able to roll up your sleeves, get down and be able to do the work actively with an active energy that says, I am here not just to direct, but I'm here to be a part of it, participate, collaborate, and inspire action. And so we're very, very honored and very excited on behalf of the Chrysalis to be partnering with GGSTN to be able to take this, what we just talked about, take this forward, at first within Nigeria, but we are looking at other countries within Africa, where we can provide these solutions by way of courses, certified professional courses, for you to take and be able to search for jobs or be able to apply them directly, as solutions within your communities. So, Ibiso, if you would like to share some of the needs that you have seen personally and through GGSDN with respect to the local need for such practical solutions, as well as from a perspective of a formalized career. Can you speak to that? What are some of your observations and your experiences so far?
Yeah, thank you so much, Caroline. I'm also going to speak in the context of what our course is going to, the impact of our course on the leaders, people, or the participants who are going to be onboarded. And I say this because I actually work with rural communities. I go down to this rural community, this frontline communities, and I see the deficiency they have when it comes to systems like the wash systems. So we talk about water and sanitation, and water, which is a critical, which plays a critical role when it comes to lives, when it comes to livelihoods, when it comes to our interaction with our environment. It's something that most communities don't have. They actually lack this basic, you know, this basic need, which is having access to clean water, clean, safe water, either for drinking or for their use. And so sometimes it's actually hinges on the system, the water system moment for those communities and the roles individuals of those communities get to play in ensuring that they conserve their water and make it available for use all year round or all year long. And so sometimes we see these communities, I will take, for example, especially coastal communities. These are communities, most of these coastal communities are surrounded by saline water, water with high salinity. So they don't get access to fresh water. And so most of these communities sometimes get to buy water. Most of these communities sometimes, because they are rural communities, they do not have access to the desalination systems where the water gets to be purified and then the level of salinity gets to drop for it to be safe for drinking. And so they get to, buy water from neighboring communities who actually have fresh water. And sometimes they also get to buy water already packed, in cans and then in sachet, and just to make sure they drink, and then also use for their home use, for their household needs. And so this is what we are trying to, or this is what we will be doing with the course of this courses is how to, it's teaching these young people who will be going down to these communities or who are part of existing communities who are suffering these challenges to see how to see how the water system is built, to see the flow of water, and how they can conserve these water they use, and all of these is what we'll be showing them through this courses. So during my interaction with most of these communities, I get to see the challenges they face, and some of these communities actually do not have access to, technology, I would say, or access to resources that could enable them have clean water. And one of the things I see we will do beyond this course is this is just something just coming. I hope I'm able to share. Is sending these people who were training into the field. Because one thing I love about the climate change and sustainability space is the fact that even if you need technology, even if we need technology in this space, we will still need individuals to do the groundwork, alongside technology. So of course, individuals will get to build the systems, will get to manage the systems and see how it's being run. So these individuals who we're training, we're not just training them to, or we're not just equipping them with the knowledge, with this knowledge to, remain with the knowledge. We're sending them back into the field, to go be useful to a community out there who needs this knowledge, who needs them to implement something around, this particular challenge, which is on water conservation and water purification and all of that. And this is what we'll be doing with this course.
Thank you so much. And this is so valuable, what you're just talking about, because this is really how we're not just creating a sustainable system of applicable solutions where they go back and they apply it directly into the field, whether it is understanding the entire flow, whether it is being able to solve problems that they've had for a really long time, but they're not able to see the solution, because they the awareness is not there. And and our hope is, through these courses and through the process of understanding these problems in real time, we are solving real life challenges for our communities over there in a way that helps them live a more qualitative life, and be able to teach more people how to do this as well. Um, I think this is an important point. How about from the career perspective? What is your perspective on the career front where these courses are concerned?
Okay, so on the career aspect as well, we see that this is a vital skill that most young people do not have. And then if you have to be in the space of sustainability and climate change, that most organizations need people, let's say, for example, we have organizations like UNICEF and the likes of it, and they need people to go into who would work with frontline communities, who would work with rural communities in ensuring that they provide solutions to these challenges. And so if we have such people, if we have these participants trained through a period of 3 weeks and equipped with the right knowledge, with the right skills, in venturing into this career path, that's a plus to, to them, as an individual, and that's also a plus to their community, to their country, because we've not just added knowledge to these individuals, we've helped to bridge the gap between having knowledge and being employed. Because we see a lot of opportunities out there every time, there's some opportunity websites and calling for young people who are involved in water conservation, calling for young people who can carry out water auditing, calling for young people who can actually design a water flow chart and all of that. So we see that those opportunities come up every time. But the question is, do we have people who have been prepared, people who have the right knowledge, the right skill, who can venture into this career path? And so that's one of the things we want to make sure or ensure that we build in this young sustainability leaders, to ensure that they have the skills, to ensure that they have the right knowledge and the resources they need to go into this career path.
I love it. I love how you underscore larger organizations, which is something that I think is important from the perspective of what's happening on the ground, with humanitarian causes, organizations that are already existing, and how these courses can help our participants connect directly with them, represent, them at the front line, and be able to translate this into much more tangible outcomes. So this is also very, very exciting what you're talking about. In Nigeria, statistically, every year we have around about an estimate of 45,000 youth that graduate from universities, from colleges, and many of these youth endeavor to, move out and seek work internationally, whether it's in the West or anywhere else. And primarily because there are many established organizations, as well as medium sized organizations, that are already seeking to hire talent. And I think there is still scope to build better understanding on the variance of roles within green economy, because it's not just one and two roles. And this is to our viewers, because I think being able to understand that there is so much scope, whether it is someone at a technician level, to someone who's a product designer, or a project manager. There are degrees within the green economy that companies are seeking solutions by way of integrating sustainability in their business, in their business life cycles at the moment. So this is important because a lot of people might be thinking, where do I start? What is my starting point in order to get into it? So, I think it's relevant to be talking about this, because a lot of times, if we don't understand the skills that we already have, whether it is working as an intern or working in another scope of role, those competencies, those skills can be brought in. They're transferable skills that can be brought in, and then we layer it with green skills, specific skills, whether it is what Ibiso has been talking so effortlessly about, specifically in the water area, or whether it is waste, or whether it is becoming carbon neutral. These are functions, but then you have the specificities of roles that will demand, whether it is simple to complex. And this is what I am very excited to for us to be testing out, based on the grade, based on the degree, how we can start to align talent, jobs, and people, of course, to these voids right now which I'm seeing. Ibiso, you more than I, because I come from an education background, but you are in the deep end of sustainability and water, and I'm so glad that's our starting point with the course that's coming up. To our viewers, we have a course coming up. It's December 2nd. It's going to be over a period of 3 weeks, and it's built in a way that gives participants the
The
opportunity
opportunity
to
to
learn
learn
conceptually
conceptually
about
about
um, water management, but it also provides a huge and rich scope with respect to case studies, assignments, and projects that they will also be empowered to take on during the duration of the course. And like Ibiso was saying, that this, because it's only when we go through it experientially, that's when we have the positive pressure of thinking through how this applies to me, to take back into my community. And so the course provides scope and opportunity for people to think in imaginative, practical ways. So Ibiso, if you would like to shed some more light from your understanding. I don't know if I'm able to present it here, but our poster which talks about the course. Maybe if you could share some of the points, because what we've done so far is talk about the scope and the need for the communities. But if you could shed some light on the course itself for our viewers to understand.
Okay, thank you, Caroline. Yeah, so like it's a water audit course and conservation. We're taking you through water auditing and conservation. So it's not the regular, school system kind of learning where you just learn and then you don't get to apply. And so, like Caroline has rightly said, you're going to have case studies. We're going to have case studies. We're going to have these participants interact with the course experts, because we are bringing on board course experts who are certified, in taking these courses. And then we will have these participants, interact, be mentored, I would say, through a mentorship program with these course experts. And so they ask questions, get clarification. So even before landing a job with the knowledge built from this course or the knowledge gained from this course, it's something you can practicalize within your own household system, within your communities. We don't wait to get the opportunity to do, to use this knowledge. You find an opportunity to use this knowledge. So of a community who needs such knowledge, such systems to be built. You could volunteer yourself to say, okay, I want to try out this thing which I've learned from this particular course I've taken for 3 weeks, and let me try it out with this community. And of course, If it works, that's a plus to your knowledge, that's a plus to your CV as an individual, that's a plus to the knowledge you've gained. And it means that you can replicate this knowledge, you can replicate this project in other communities as well, until you get the very big job offers and internship positions, and that comes with this, you taking these courses. But it's going to be 3 weeks of virtual learning, and being having it virtually doesn't take away the fact that it's not going to be intensive. It's going to be an intensive learning system. You have a case study, you go through your case studies, get an opportunity to ask questions, get an opportunity to network within your peers, because we believe most of the security leaders who are coming on board already have already have maybe some existing ideas and discussions, already have networks to which they can share some ideas and some opportunities with their peers. So it's not an island system of learning, it's a networking system of learning where young people get to network within themselves, get to gain knowledge, and get an opportunity to also implement the knowledge within.
Thank you so much. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I think what you have shared is really, really important. Something that downloaded for me visually as you were talking was yourself. I see you as, an embodiment of what the outcome would be of this course. And for a viewer watching in, with the work that Ibiso is doing with respect to young students, providing solar lamps or, the clean up with I might be saying using the wrong language, Ubiso, so please correct me, please feel free to correct me, but I know about the water and how you're doing something to clean the water up, if I remember correctly, because of the impact that it's having on the health of our local communities. So
Ocean
all of these,
cleanup.
yes, thank you for that. So the ocean cleanup. um, so, why I'm bringing this up is because I see you as an outcome. You are a direct representation of a course like this. Being able to help our youth feel inspired to scale these kind of solutions that you're already doing. Um, and so the course can help ignite ideas, help them innovate, maybe be able to reach out to a leader like you and get to know about what you're already doing, so that they can also support, they can also collaborate, and be able to find out ways that they can take this forward. So I just wanted to put that out there because I think it's important as well for people to know that we're not just here, this is not lip service, but especially with GGSTN in Nigeria, in Africa, doing this work, this is all the more relevant and relatable to potential participants. So kudos to you, Ibiso, and very excited about the future of what we're doing together.
Yeah, thank you, Caroline. Kudos to you too. I'm looking forward to so much more for young people like yourself in this space.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let me just see if there's anything else that I have forgotten. I think we've pretty much covered everything. Um, so, what would be, based on your experience as a, sustainability leader, being able to do the work, working with youth in local communities, what would be the top one or two, things that you would advise people about these courses, whether it is from a purpose or from an outcome? What would be your advice to them?
Okay, so the truth is, most of this knowledge, most of this work I do with communities, um, um, the knowledge that I apply to the work I do in this community was gotten from courses such as this. I remember when I took my first course on Coursera, that was the SCP course on Coursera, and that was like the starting point for me because I began to, it was a practical course, and so I began to think of how I can implement what I've learned, make it more real, make it more tangible, something I can really say I've been able to myself, and then I've been able to see results. So it's not, when knowledge is applied, you get to see its impact, you get to see its effect. But if you don't apply that knowledge, you can't really tell or measure the extent to which you've actually gained, the knowledge. So when I took this courses, that particular course, I began to see my community from a different perspective. I began to ask myself, what can I do better, especially in regards to climate change, mitigating climate change, implementing projects that are in line with the SDGs. I began to look out for challenges and I began to see opportunities in those challenges and how to meet those challenges and turn them into solutions or into opportunities to better my community. So that's the same thing I'm going to say to every participant onboarding or going on board this course. I'm going to say to you, when you take this course, don't just keep the knowledge to yourself. You need to look through the lenses of that particular community where you're residing in or neighboring communities around you and begin to see what can I do with this knowledge that's gained, how do we apply to this community, how can I utilize this knowledge, in providing solutions for a community close to me that is going through the challenge with water conservation and all of that. So by so doing, you're opening up yourself to more knowledge, you're opening up yourself to being a social impact and being a social impact to the world around you, to your community, to the lives, in those communities. And so you're not just being a blessing to those lives, you're also being a blessing to yourself because more opportunities will stem out from you just taking that action. Okay, so you need to take action for people to get to see that, oh, we are doing something in this space and we want you to come handle something similar to this in this other region or in this other community. And of course, people want to invest in what you do because they see results just by doing the little you can, which you've done without having so much access to funding, and just by applying the knowledge you gain from taking a step. So to everybody who's going to be onboarded on this course, this is just a journey, to a bigger project to handle with that course and knowledge you gain. So take it serious and learn and develop and come out.
Brilliant. Just brilliant. I feel it in my body when you speak because you are, this is what I've always said about you. And I say it again, you are just the opposite of being self-centered when it comes to being a leader. You're empathetic. You think, I love how you said, think through the lens of the community. You're always, and you demonstrate this. I always see this in you. And this is important because it's not just about green skills and it's not just about technical skills, but being able to, whether it is lead or follow, no matter, understanding that we have to work together and we have to honor one another and respect one another and celebrate one another. These are signs of a mature leader. So I really, really am so honored to be doing this with you, Ibiso, because of all of the things that you demonstrate, you embody, and this is how we facilitate lifting people up, because when we embody it, then people are inspired to also be accountable for themselves, but also help someone else. It's not about getting ahead, but it's about helping one another. This is why we are here. So I am just so happy, and I want to thank you for the work that you do, and this partnership that we are on together.
Thank you so much, Caroline. It's also a pleasure to be in partnership with you, in providing access to such timely, courses such as this for young people. And I believe this is not just where we're going to stop. I believe this is a breaking ground for us to introduce more of these courses, which are vital for young people to take action in their communities and lead the path of change.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And to all of our viewers, this is the starting point. We will leave a link for you to follow up if you would like to sign up. uh, Maybe not for the December course, but this is going to be a long journey. So, if you would like to, be part of a course and find out more about our courses, we will drop a link so that you can send us, because we also want to learn more about what you are going through and be able to ensure that the courses are tailor made in a way that relates to you. It's not about giving you anything, but it's about, it's a symbiosis of what you need and how we can provide the tools, the mentorship, and the practical solutions. So, thank you so much for being on this live, on this podcast with us. And we are very excited about the next steps. So thank you so much for your time on today's podcast and just being your natural self as always.
Thank you, Caroline, for having me.
Thank you, my dear. And have a wonderful day to you and to all of our viewers watching in. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye bye.